What is up, guys, gals, and non-binary pals? My name is Naomi. Welcome to House of Miscellania. Today I'm coming at you with a WIP and chat. WIP stands for work in progress, and I'm going to chat for about an hour. At the end of the WIP and chat, I will be reading a tarot card as our thought for the week, as I always do. For now, I'm going to set these aside because we don't need them at the moment. Where am I going to set them? Right here is good, so they're out of the way. And let me go over my tools that I will be using. First and foremost, I want to say, if you are new to the channel, welcome. How you doing? My name's Naomi, and I cover a variety of diamond painting content, including whip and chats, unboxings, post reviews, live streams, tutorials, you name it. So if there's something that you want to see on the channel, please make sure you put a little comment down below on what you might like to see happen on the channel if there's not already something there that you're not into. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, if you're not new to the channel, welcome back. It's good to see you. Well, not really see you. You're seeing my hands. I'm, usually chatting with you in either the comments or in Discord, but that being said, I hope that your week has been great. Let me go over my diamond painting tools really quickly, and then I will go ahead and get started with the whip and chat. I'm using a pen here that I use often. This is the Satura pen from Diamond Pen Pal over on Etsy. Any links for my tools will be down in the description for the tools, the things that you're seeing, what have you. So if you're looking for them, go check the description. Or if you want to place a comment below and say, hey, where's that pen that you were using from? Or where's that putty you were using from? And I should be able to tell you. But this is from Diamond Pen Pal. This is the Satura pen. It is gorgeous. This is their chubby, meaning fat, wide variety, and this is the bumpy turn on their pen with no roll stop, because they do have a roll stop which is like flat on one side, so that if you lay down your pen it will not roll away on you. Like, my house was built in 1900, so everything wants to roll that way to the center of the house. But yes, in my single placer here, I'm using Ghost from Diamond Painting Daily. This is their symbol over on Etsy, and it works like a glue dot. It's a liquid that turns solid. It goes from white to clear, hence the name Ghost. You can see it is a liquid. But it works just like a glue dot. You put it in your pen and you let it dry, your pen tip, you let it dry in there, and then you get it a little dirty with like either, your clothes, get some kind of fuzzies on it so it's not quite as sticky, but it works just like a glue dot. Love this stuff, live by it. In my multi-placer, I will be using Purple Prismatic Sparkle dot putty from Butterfly Effectwares on Etsy. They are about to do a drop, I believe, this upcoming Saturday, so keep an eye out for that. They're going to be putting out a chai scent, which I was like, I need some. And then the trinket tray and like straightener pen that I'm using, these are from Flawa Designs. You can find Flawa Designs over on Etsy. This is last year's Mary Morales tray. Actually, not last year before last, because it's from 2024, 2025 Mary Morales, but these match. There's also like an actual diamond painting tray and a cover minder that matches with this set from last year. They have another set like this for Mary Morales, not with a trinket tray, but it has a pen, a cover minder, and a tray that you can go check out. And then the tray that I'm using is from Ephemera 3D, also on Etsy. This is the Deep 6. I think their store is on vacation right now, so I don't think that you can get these trays right at the moment, but if you message them on Facebook, then you could probably get one made for you if you ask really nicely. But that is all of my tools. The diamond painting that I'm working on is for the event that is almost finished, which I'll talk about in a minute. Mary Morales is the name of the event, and the artist is Margaret Morales that we are celebrating. This is Oleander by Margaret Morales, and it is a 55.6 by 78.7 centimeters in round. Love it. And this one I'm almost done with. I've been saving every bit of it as I can for the remainder of the event so that I didn't run myself out of Moraleses to work on during the event. I've got one last live stream, so this will be the second to last square that I do before the end of the event. And I'm a little bummed, I'm not gonna lie. I'll talk about some more having to do with the event momentarily, but yeah, catch me up. How has your week been? It has been, for Wisconsin even, very, very strange winter weather. Oh, I love the way that this smells. Colors on this are also really, really pretty. Love those. Strange weather that we're having, and not strange in the sense that, like, you know, it's weather we shouldn't be having here in the state of Wisconsin, because it absolutely is par for the course as far as like being cold, being snowy, what have you. But where it definitely has thrown us off track, there was a day last week where the temperature was, and this is in Fahrenheit for my non-Fahrenheit using friends, my Celsius friends, it was negative 15 degrees Fahrenheit with before wind chill and all of that stuff, which works out, I think, to, when I was looking it up, like negative 22 in Celsius. Hold on a minute. Let me look up a Fahrenheit to Celsius conversion. Negative 15 is, oh, I'm sorry, negative 26.1 degrees. And that was before the wind chill, the air quote real feel, which was saying that it was negative 35, which is the same as negative 37.2 in Celsius. Freaking cold. I put it to you that way. Like, it was so cold that I couldn't take the dogs out for more than like legitimately just go to the front yard, have a pee, and then get back in the house as quickly as possible. Beans would get to a point where he would either lay down in the snow and try to like warm his feet up by getting them off of the cement or off of the direct snow, like tucking them up underneath himself. And then he would try to flop in the snow and refuse to get up. And it's like, no, let's get back in the house, because you would be out there for less than 10 minutes and already, like, I was wearing 2 layers of gloves. I was wearing snow pants. I was layered up and I was freezing to death. It was cold. Very, very cold. And so that's something, though, that we kind of expect in the state of Wisconsin, this like state of constant like below freezing temperatures. That's just something that we kind of expect here. It's not a surprise when it happens. But what I hate is when, like, it'll go from, you know, like a 0 degree to negative temperatures, or we even had like a week where we were getting in the upper 40s and 50s, and even in one case almost 60 degrees, and then a week later it's in the negatives. Like, dropping the temperature some 50 or 60 degrees really messes with you. It messes with your body. Like, I have back problems that are just going to be with me for the rest of my natural life, and having those issues when it's this cold, it's like you just, it's impossible to get warm. It seems like, you know, your body just will not warm up. I have poor circulation in my feet. I have poor circulation in my hands and carpal tunnel to add to that. And it's like, you know, you get cold, you stay cold. That is not my favorite thing about Wisconsin winters. And sometimes you got to ask yourself, like, why do I live in a place that hurts my face or my body? But then I remember that in the spring and even summer and fall, Wisconsin honestly is a stunning place to live. And I can't be too mad about it. You know, I really can't. I'm going to get my trash jar here. There we go. So, like, it's kind of one of those, well, you know, it could be worse for this or that reason. So I suffer through it because I really do love living in Wisconsin the rest of the year. It's just when we get these really strange, unstable polar vortexes, and then even the stable ones where all it is just bitterly cold but no snow. We've also had the most snow on record than I think we've had since like 2007 or 2008. It's been crazy the amount of snow that we got in 2007 or 2008, whichever it was. It was 2007. In comparison, like, we've just gotten a massive amount of snow that hasn't happened for a long time. I would much prefer the snow that it be snowing and just dumps on us with snow, because generally if it's snowing it has to maintain a certain temperature. Like, it's not going to snow when it's in the negative temperatures. Like, it has to be a certain amount of warmth before it will snow. And so, you know, at least you know if it's gonna snow or if it is snowing, that you're gonna get a, you know, a certain amount of temperature anyway. So yeah, I don't know. I don't mind the snow. I'm cool with snow. I don't mind looking at it. I don't mind driving in it. Better when you don't have to drive in it and all you're doing is looking at it. But, you know, when that's not possible and you have to go somewhere, I'm okay with being in snow. I don't like having to skip out on walks that I would normally take because it's so freaking cold out that I can't. I have not liked the fact that I've been fairly stagnant, actually, in my own home for the last, like, few weeks because of how cold it's been. Like, it's just too cold to be out. So I'm always happy when, geez, I went for a walk earlier and it was like, I don't know, 10 degrees, and that felt balmy. It was very weird. It's very weird how sometimes you can go from feeling fairly, like, bitterly cold, and then all of a sudden 10 degrees feels like warm weather. Because you figure the temperature raised like 20 degrees, 30 degrees. So that does tend to feel a lot warmer. And then what else is new? Things are going all right in the household. My daughter's pipes did not freeze over at her house, so that was good. My live stream was a disaster tonight. I don't know what was going on. First it was couldn't see any picture, and then when I didn't even figure it out. It just started working when I opened up a StreamYard tab, because I don't like to use StreamYard all of the time. I use it for live streams and stuff like that because I have a, you know, like the prize wheel or whatever. But the picture didn't want to work, and then it would freeze randomly, and then at one point, like, my internet just took a crap and stopped working entirely, and I was like, you know what, forget about it. I'll talk to you guys in Discord. Hopefully some of you will join me in Discord, and if you don't, then that's okay, because that's the hangout. But it was just a mess. It's okay. I would rather all of that happen on a Tuesday than to happen during a Saturday when I have to do Mary Morales and give away prizes and stuff like that. Like, totally fine. We'll deal with it being a mess on a Tuesday. Nothing is that important on a Tuesday. Although, I am planning to start doing auctions on my live streams on Tuesdays. I'm not sure when that's going to begin. I do know that it's not going to be until after Mary Morales is over. So likely sometime in February, obviously. But I was thinking maybe middle February to give me a couple of weeks to make plans with the people who wanted to sell things during the auctions, and then you know, help them get their stuff, their lists ready and get pictures ready and stuff like that so that I can do the auctions on my channel, which will be for various people. Like each one would host 1 or 2 different people depending on how many kits they have, and maybe even 3, you just never know. But I want to do some auctions so that people can come to the auctions, bid on items, get some kits for, you know, fairly inexpensive, and then, you know, go on their happy, merry way. And I think that, like the Crashly auctions, which I'm not trying to copy or anything, I just know that there's some people who wanted to sell some things, and Crashly is only doing auctions for her one friend Lori. So I thought, well, okay, I have a channel, so maybe these people can do auctions on my channel, take advantage of maybe some more, I don't know, play, letting people know that that's coming up, get some maybe advertisement. I can talk to Crashly, talk to Crashly about like, hey, would you mind, you know, letting people know on your auctions that if they're interested, that I'll have an auction on my channel. Because I'm not trying to compete with her or, you know, Lori's money or anything. It's just, it's not Lori. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But my plan is to try and do that maybe middle February and maybe set that up for doing once a week or once every 2 weeks. I want to make sure that it's consistent though, because, you know, if people don't know when it's going to be and how, you know, how long it's going to, what, all the things, right? I do have some ideas about how I would like to run it, and it would be not the same as the way that it's run at, like, for Crashly's. I think that, you know, that could be a good thing. It could be a good thing. But anyway, and then things, like I said, in the house are fairly normal. Everything's good. My in-laws are going to be leaving for Florida, I think, in the middle of February. They're probably going to be gone until, it's usually end of May that they leave until, and then come back. So once the weather breaks in Wisconsin, I'll be able to go over and start working over in the garage, and I will have some pens that need to be made, some Zodiac pens, which I'm looking forward to taking care of. I have a few already that I've sold as like pre-commissions for the pens. You know, I've taken down payments or whatever, and then I will take closer to the springtime. I may even take more commissions and let people know, like, hey, if you want a Zodiac pen, I'll be taking pre-orders for it starting, you know, whenever that is, like maybe April or May. It just kind of depends. I need it to be at least 40 degrees in the garage for me to be able to work comfortably in there. But I don't want to have to run a bunch of propane in there to warm it up to a workable temperature. So I'm thinking it'll probably be April, maybe May, that I can start working in there. And I already know that I have my father-in-law's permission to, like, go over and work. So I'm not too terribly concerned about that. But I am looking forward to turning some more pens because I have a lot of ideas. I've picked up a few different things to put on the insides of them, which I'm excited about. And so, yeah, there's that. So I did say that I was going to talk a little bit about the event, and I'm not ready to do like a full wrap up of the event. I'm not there yet. I'm not ready for that yet, but I did at least want to talk about, I am a little bit bummed, if I'm honest, that the event is coming to a close. I feel like it gives me and even my channel to a certain extent, like some relevance and meaning. I feel like maybe I'm not as, I don't know, important to people when I'm not running the event. Like, I think that just like there was last year, there are going to be people that, you know, came to the event. They're like, oh my God, it was a great time. Like, I love your channel. I've subscribed, yada, yada, yada. Or they, you know, joined the Discord and they were really active. And then all of a sudden, it's like after the event is over, you just never hear from them again. And that's a bummer, because I made some really lovely friends last year for Mary Morales, people who joined the event, and I was really sad when they just stopped showing up. It was like, oh, but you were so, like, active before. Like, you were so active, you were so interested, you were so engaged, and then all of a sudden, it's like, where did you go? You just poofed, vanished. And that hurts a little bit, you know. It's like, makes me feel like, well, if I wasn't important enough or whatever, and, you know, there are people who follow other YouTubers for the rest of their natural born lives. And so I have to remember, I think, to not compare myself to other content creators, because I could drive myself crazy worrying about what this or that content creator is doing, or, you know, how many views they get on videos, or how many subscribers they have, or whatever. I think it's just a very dangerous precedent to set for myself, and a dangerous, like, kind of game to play with myself. So I am trying to be mindful of doing that to myself, you know. Okay, so I wanted to decide. I have a couple. Oh, wait, maybe it wasn't that one. I want to put some specials in her. I want to put some specials into her eyes. That's a square. That's not going to do it. I thought about putting maybe some like metallics in there, because I want those babies to glow. But I don't know if I have any round metallics. What color is that? 400. Hold on, I'm going to go see something really quick. Okay, I found a couple of things, and I think, even though it's not a perfect match, I didn't actually plan for any specials in this canvas. I didn't want to do much. I didn't want to detract from what was already there, okay? And so I didn't really plan for anything specific, but I think it's awfully dark orange. I don't want to make it look wrong. But I wanted to put a little something in there that's not going to be, All right, hold on one more second. Well, I didn't find anything that matches kind of this like orangey, dark orange color. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this regular drill down. But I do have one, I think, that I can replace the like actual yellow there with a yellow fairy dust. And then I have a drill that I want to use for kind of the like orange color. It's a beautiful sparkler, and technically it's for a square canvas, but I think if I'm only using a couple, and it's orange, so if I'm only using a couple of them on the canvas, it won't make a big difference. But it's this torch, and I want that in her eyes, so I'm gonna put a few of these down in on the orange, because I think it will look very beautiful. I want her eyes to stand out. I also use this like on the center of a couple of flowers. There we go. And I think it will look really, really pretty. Come on, glue. Work with me here. All right, we're going to use the putty. Yeah, I like it. Okay, and then that lightest kind of orangey color and yellow color I want to do in fairy dust. Anyways, so I am really sad that the event is, you know, wrapping up, coming to a close. It always just feels like the end of an era, you know, like the end of, oops. And then I just put those right in here with, I'll take care of it later. I'm not going to deal with it right now. I will pull them out of there later on. Yeah, it always just feels like the end of an era or the end of an age, whatever you want to call it. It's just I don't know. And I feel, like I said, like, people don't really give a crap about what happens to me. They're just sort of like, okay, moving on with our own lives now, which is fine. It's totally okay. Like, nobody has to be, oh, wait. This is already a fairy dust, so I don't need that one. I need an orange color. That's what I was looking for. A derp. Okay, so what color is that? That is a side arrow, and that is a 721, which I think, what is this? 3340. We want to match that color. I think this one is a little closer, maybe. I have a 742. That's pretty close, or I have a 3854, which I think is even closer. It's pretty close. So we'll use that, and then the yellow that's already a fairy dust. Yes, okay. Yeah, it just, like, I don't know. I'm such a freaking whiny baby. You know what I mean? Wimpy kitty baby whiner. That's how I feel. I feel like I'm just a big whiny baby that I could probably just get over myself and stop worrying so much about whether or not people remember who I am or whether or not they are around later. Because, like, if they're meant to be around, then they'll be around, right? Like, they'll be there. I shouldn't concern myself with whether or not people are staying if they don't want to stay, because I'm not special. Like, I have to keep reminding myself that I am not that freaking special. I show up in people's lives for a season or for a reason, and if I would just not worry so extremely as to whether or not people are sticking around, then it wouldn't, I don't know. Like I said, it's just, I feel like it's just me being a big whiny brat and worrying too much about what other people think, you know? It's like, again, get over myself. Anyways, so I did jot down a list, okay, of questions, or a list of hot takes, I guess I should say, and then a response to those hot takes about diamond painting and the diamond painting community and things like that. And don't worry, I won't be saying anything that is so incriminating that I'm gonna scare people away, or that it's like some sort of a clickbait bullcrap. I will respond to things in my honest opinion, because I always share my honest opinions. But I'm also not going to go, you know, throwing people under the bus and pissing people off. It's like, that's just not, I don't make that kind of content, and I'm not trying to make that kind of content. So if you're here for that, I apologize. That's not what this is. It's just more or less me, you know, looking up some hot takes and kind of responding to the hot takes in what I think are, you know, the way that I would like to answer them. But I did find a list of questions and thought it would be fun to address some of them on my WIP and chat. And for the last, you know, I don't know, 20 minutes, 25 minutes or something, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk about these lightly spicy diamond painting hot takes. So question number 1, what is a rule, a diamond painting quote rule that you ignore on purpose? Something that I ignore on purpose that, okay, I guess maybe this isn't like a rule necessarily, but so often I hear people saying like, oh, it's okay to go slow. It just means that you're enjoying it more. Not for me. I feel like the faster that I'm going on a diamond painting, probably the more I'm enjoying it. The longer that I want to sit down with a diamond painting, the more I'm enjoying it. So I probably break every rule of like, that's going to burn you out, because I go quickly and I go for really long sessions for diamond painting. So, and I've been going that way pretty solid for the last couple of years. So if it was going to burn me out, I think I would have done it already. But yeah, I guess that's a rule that I break. Some quote rule that exists. Is starting too many kits at once chaotic or elite behavior? I could see how someone would interpret that as elite behavior because, you know, oh, well, look at how much storage I have, or look how many kits I have that I can just start 15 of them and never work on any of them until I feel like it, or look how much space that I have that I'm able to have, you know, 15 kits all kitted up and then work on them. Like, I already know that I am singularly lucky that I have a space that is my own space to do my diamond painting in, that I can see how someone would think that maybe it was a little bit elitist to be able to have many WIPs going, but like, you just do what makes you happy, what you have the space for, what you have the money for, you know what I mean? Even if it's 15 Temus, like whatever. Do what makes you happy, as long as you're not doing stolen artwork, you know? Like, it's other than that, there really are not rules for the way that this has to be done or should be done. So if somebody's trying to set rules on you for diamond painting, like, you don't need that kind of negativity in your life. Like I said, the only rule that I follow pretty vehemently is the don't steal from artists rule. And sometimes you do that and you don't even know that you did it. And then if you find out that you did it, just kick that artist some money. Problem solved. And don't do it again once you know better. But I'd say that that's a pretty tame rule as far as rules go. Next question. What is an overrated tool that everyone swears by? An overrated tool that everyone swears by. I mean, if you would have asked me this question like 2 years ago, I probably would have said like putties and waxes, like putties, not putties and waxes, but putties and glue dots and stuff like that, like, and then multi-placers, fancy multi-placers. I'm like, do you really need that? Because I've been single placing for years, not realizing that I could have been multi-placing the whole freaking time. So my answer 2 years ago would have been very different than my current answer, which is, I guess, an overrated tool. I mean, here's the thing about tools. Like, if it works for you, then it's not overrated. It is exactly, precisely rated. If it works better for you than something else. Like, okay, maybe I might think that, you know, a certain putty seller is an overrated tool. But that's just, you know, opinion about the person, not opinion about the tool that they're peddling, the putty that they're peddling. But there's definitely an overrated tool selling putty. I will leave you to imagine who that might be. A crap stirring overrated tool. Maybe that'll help answer who that might be. But if you don't know who it is based on that, then sorry, you don't get any more hints about who that overrated tool might be. Do you think bigger kits or XL kits are sometimes just unnecessary flexes? Can I be honest with you? I see people unboxing on TikTok that one, oops, I'm like, that does not look right because I am not laying it in the correct place. Those kits that are like 100 centimeters by 300 centimeters or whatever. They're like 7 feet long and or 7 feet tall and 15 feet wide or whatever the hell, right? And then like the artwork on it, in my opinion, is subpar. Like one of them is actually all of the Super Mario characters very clearly lifted directly from Nintendo, so it's very obviously theft. And that one is even bigger than the one with like the person meditating with a lotus flower on it. Very, very clearly theft of property from Nintendo. Now, granted, Nintendo is a huge company that can obviously handle themselves. I don't need to report anybody on behalf of Nintendo, so I'm not gonna. But, like, I don't know. Those really humongous canvases that are probably going to take that person in a cool year to work on, maybe even more than a year to work on. That has no, like, there's no want in my body to work on a kit that large for that long. And so, yes, it does kind of read as a unnecessary flex when you're getting them that size. Like, what are you ever going to do with that? Put it down as a rug? A runner for your long hallway? Like, I don't understand what you're doing with that. So yes, it does seem kind of like an unnecessary flex, especially the price on those. It's ridiculous. Beyond ridiculous. I spend enough on this hobby that I don't need to get this massive XL diamond painting just to feel special that I spent $400 or whatever on a canvas. Like, psh, I've already done that, spent $400 on a canvas, and felt sheepish and stupid afterwards. So don't really need to do that just to do a big old, like, humongous diamond painting. Trying to throw my drills everywhere. Throwing stuff. Okay. There we go. I didn't throw my drills, thank goodness. All right, where's the next one? All right. Are mystery kits exciting or anxiety in a box? So, depends on the mystery kit you're talking about. If we're talking about the mystery kits that you get from like that are black and white and you don't know what the image is until you work on the kit and it's one kit like that, you can actually look up what those are fairly easily. So like if you're anxious about it, if you're anxious about even buying it, like just look it up beforehand. You don't, just because you like the artist doesn't mean you're going to like the artwork. Like there are plenty of pieces of art, even by Margaret, that are not something that I would be interested in diamond painting, or that are not maybe to my liking of her art, like her old artwork. It's not necessarily my favorite. And so you can always find out what those are. But the mystery boxes that are like, you get, you know, 2 never before seen kits and 1 air quote fan favorite, that to me is anxiety in a box. I purchased 1 box one time, and it was the deal where you get 2 never before seen kits for $85. And I thought, okay, well, you know, the way that it's been going is most people who don't have these, you know, like, because they don't buy a mystery box, they don't want to deal with the anxiety, they just wait to see what's in them, and then they purchase what they want out of them. And I was like, well, I should be able to at least sell the piece that I don't want if I get one that I don't want, because people will want to buy them. They won't have bought the mystery boxes, blah, 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 blah. Well, I had it set up. I thought I had a buyer for the... I got 2 kits, Spiral Dreams and Cute But Unstable by Diane Ong. And the Cute But Unstable, totally not my style. I was like, okay, I can de-stash this. And at least, I wasn't trying to make $100 on it or anything. I just thought, okay, I'll sell this for, you know, 40, 50 bucks, 60 bucks, and I'll make back some money, and I won't feel like I paid $85 for Spiral Dreams. Well, I had worked out a deal with somebody, and this was my mistake, you guys. I told them that I would give them time to see if somebody else in their country of Australia had gotten a copy and was willing to part with it. But then, like, I told them I was willing to wait just to let me know one way or the other as soon as humanly possible. Well, they found another kit. They never let me know. And I missed, like, the height of that kit, like, people looking for it. So I wasn't able to sell it because nobody at that point then was looking for it. So now I have Spiral Dreams by Bear Brick Gia, which I like just fine. And then I have Cute But Unstable by Diane Ong, which is not one that I even want in my house. And so now I'm stuck with this second kit that I'm never going to work on, I don't like, that I can't sell because nobody wants it. And that sucks. I think I have a person who wants to buy it from me. I'm pretty sure she does, but like, I don't know. It kind of depends. Is she gonna back out like the other person did and then never let me know, like, oh, hey, I found it from somebody else cheaper, or I decided I didn't want it and changed my mind, or whatever. And then, you know, here I am, like, stuck holding the bag again. I would use that kit for the specials alone, or the drills for like a cross-stitch conversion or whatever, than to have it just sitting in my house and doing nothing. I would much rather just zombie it for parts. You know what I mean? Because I don't need a kit that's just going to sit and do nothing in my house. It's not what I'm looking to do. So, anyway, we'll see if it goes to a new home, if she actually decides that... Criminy. Sorry, throwing my pen everywhere. I got fumble fingers today. I'm sure that if she doesn't want it, eventually it'll find a home. Or, like I said, I will zombie the kit. I will take the drills and use them for another project. And there you have it. You may find out that Cute But Unstable became a zombified kit because nobody wanted it. We shall see. But I'm not going to let it bother me. All right, next question. Is confetti really that bad, or are people just dramatic? It depends on what you're looking for in diamond painting. I like confetti. I'm fine with confetti. Now, granted, I don't want to do every single kit that I work on is just this confetti nightmare, because that's kind of what it is after a while. I want a good balance in a kit. Or conversely, if I'm doing a confetti heavy kit, maybe I want to do something that's a little more, not a lot, but a little more color blocky in the next one, you know? It's just whatever a person's in the mood for. So I don't know. It's whatever you're in the mood for. Is it making you happy? Then that's all that really matters. Is it okay to abandon a kit you're not enjoying? Abso-effing-lutely. Do you know how many times I have forced myself to frog march my way through a kit that I hated, and how much more I resented the kit after? Because I, you know, was more concerned about, oh, well, this person wants to buy this finish, not thinking like it could be horrible, because the other one that I worked on from the same company was fine. But quite honestly, no. I don't want to do it. No, it's absolutely fine to ditch a kit that you are not enjoying. You should. You have other kits that are worth more or that cost you more, that you're going to enjoy much more, that are far more worthy of your time. Like, don't make it a thing where you feel like you have to do anything. No way. I would rather it not get thrown out, unless it's like, you know, the drill field or whatever is so hateful that you would hate to do that to somebody else, you know. But ask around. Somebody might actually not mind and would like to work on the piece in your place. Who knows? Maybe they would even work on it for you and send it back to you or whatever. Maybe they can help you out. There we go. Bumped my elbow. Let's see. Should licensed art always cost more? I mean, you would think it would anyways, because if the artists are being fairly compensated, then of course a licensed kit is going to cost more. And it should cost more. I mean, because, you know, businesses aren't in the business of doing crap for free for customers all the time. Like, yeah, obviously they don't need to charge a mint for an artist's work, but at the same time, like, they do have to make some money. And they're not in the business of printing off dollars. I mean, unless they are in the business of printing off dollars, is a whole other thing. But yeah, they're not in the business of giving money away. So, yeah. Is stash shaming harmful in the community? I think stash shaming is a really tricky subject, because, like, one, we don't always know another person's circumstances, right? Like, people online, we have no idea. They could be, I don't know, billionaires. We're not necessarily privy to all parts of their life, and therefore we have no freaking idea if they can afford the kits that they're buying or not. Now, with that said, there does, I think, come a certain point where it's like, okay, so you purchased, I don't know, 5 kits on Monday, and then 6 on Tuesday, and then you were all proud of yourself because you waited until the weekend to buy any more. But then later on, I don't know, you're complaining that you can't afford this or that luxury, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, maybe if you hadn't purchased 50 kits last week, you could afford that stuff. And then some of these people are doing like, quote, emergency destashes because they realize that they really overspent. I've even seen people who have posted stuff about like, oh, my husband doesn't know and I've been sneaking these items into my house via the back door for the last year or whatever. And it's like, what? What do you, I mean, granted, you know, you're an autonomous human being and shouldn't have to worry about an adult person becoming mad or upset with you. Because if they are, it could be something bad there. You know what I mean? I don't know. So, like, I think it's okay to, like, you know, gently rib somebody like, wow, it's quite the pile you got there, lady friend, my guy, my dude. But you don't know a person's situation, so they could have just, I don't know, won a large sum of money from a local lottery or whatever. We don't know everybody's situation. And so, like, actually shaming somebody for things is not where it's at, man. Like, we all have lives to live. Let us live them. Okay. Looking for more drills. There they are. Okay. Next question. Oop. There. I'm just reading. Do you think some kits are priced way too high for what you get? Yes. Do I have to elaborate? I think that the problem with pricing kits and things like that is when you're paying upwards and over, let's say $100 for a kit, I think that there is a certain level of quality that you expect from paying a number like that. And then you end up with like really terrible, sorry, I was looking for my next color. You end up with really terribly cupped drills, or you end up with, you know, a subpar glue experience or whatever. And, you know, like, diamond painting is an expensive hobby. Like, this is not a poor person's hobby when you're working with specifically like licensed canvases. I mean, obviously you can 100% ball on a budget when it comes to diamond painting. You just have to know where to shop from and whatnot. But like, I don't know. There we go. Got them all done up. Okay, so are some, ooh, this is a good question. Are some diamond painting reviews too gentle? Yes. Yes, I think that they are. Now, that being said, like, I don't think that honesty needs to be brutal honesty. Like, I don't think you need to be brutally honest in order to give constructive feedback to a company. Like, you don't need to rip them a new one just for having, there we go. I don't think that you need to rip a company a new one because, you know, they've got some issues with trash drills or whatever. Like, honestly, I don't think you need to rip a company a new one anyways. It's not... I just don't understand the need or want to do that. Okay. There we go. Boom. But I think the issue is that when, you know, like content creators, unboxers, or whatever, I think sometimes, especially if they're friends with the owner of a company or whatever, they're afraid to put their honest feedback in a video because then it's like, oh, that video's forever. You know, the company's going to see it. Maybe they'll stop sending free kits, blah, 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 blah. Like, if you're not going to like the kit, then why... If you think somebody else isn't going to like the kit because you didn't really like the kit, then why are you trying to sell it to every schmo out there like you do like it? I just don't understand that. Here we go. Come on. There we go. Drill. But yeah, I think that, you know, you don't have to be brutally honest, but be honest in your reviews of companies because oftentimes, like, the feedback that you provide to those companies help them to be better. You know, you can't expect a business to thrive if they're constantly shutting down feedback on their different channels or whatever. Now, I don't think anybody needs to go out there and, I don't know, slap a company around just because you feel like they haven't had anybody, like, give them the business lately. Like, it's not like that. It doesn't have to be like that either. But definitely be honest. There we go. Where's that? Oh, a big old divot in that one. All right. Next question. And then, you know what? I'll ask a quick one and then we will read our tarot card thought for the week. I'm just looking through them. Reading through the questions. Reading. Should companies stop using AI altogether? Okay, this is going to put me a little bit over time, but here's the deal. As I do more research on AI art, I feel like there are a lot of people out there using AI very irresponsibly. They're not thinking about the effects on the environment that AI has. They're not thinking about the artists that it might actually injure monetarily with AI art. And like it's unfortunate too that more traditional artists are not supported. That being said, you can't put the genie back in the bottle. Like the secret's out. You know what I mean? Like, people are now going to use AI whether we like it or not. But what I do think is unfortunate is that some of these people who are just creating image after image after image after image after image, and they're not looking at the effects of whatever it took for them to create all those images, the effect that it's having on the environment. And then on top of that, like not looking carefully at what's in the image, like missing fingers, too many fingers, their body looks like it's on backwards. Like, don't put slop out into the world. Stuff that doesn't, like, in the uncanny valley of diamond paintings that that they just pay attention to what's on the canvas. Like, sometimes it's like you didn't notice that that particular AI makes it look like the person's feet are growing directly out of the ground. Like, you didn't notice that when you were rendering it, like hand rendering it. You just never really even saw it. It's just like, come on. Don't be lazy. Don't be lazy. If you're going to destroy the whole freaking planet with the data centers that it takes to run all this AI, like, at the least, be a little bit responsible for it. Anyway, all right. Still got that color to lay down, which I'll take care of later on. What did I do with my plastic piece that goes on here so I can cover it? I don't want to... For real, what did I do with it? Oh, there it is. I don't want to get glue on my thingy bobs, but yeah, let's just not be lazy with our AI. How about that? Okay, the cards are right here. Let's go ahead and see what our thought for the week is with our tarot card. I've already shuffled them up. Make sure there's not boobs. No, there is not. Oh, this is new. Sylvanius? I don't know if we've ever had this one before. Sylvanius. What does Sylvanius have to say? Or 34. 34. Truth, cutting through deception, and clarity are the keywords. At this time, you are discovering new truths about yourself. They are essential for you to know in order to create relationships based on mutual respect, affection, and trust. Currently, no, these things can only work if we see ourselves and others as we are. Currently, both fairy and this world are functioning as a giant mirror in which we see ourselves in many surprising ways. People tend to dread this because we assume that we are worse than we think we are, but this is far from necessarily true. Now is a time for finding out the false and misleading beliefs you have accepted and discovering that you are a better person than you thought and have the potential to accomplish more than you believed you could. If someone says you are better or simply different than you think you are, don't automatically reject this. Think it over. Think it over carefully. You have more to give and more to enjoy than you have been giving yourself credit for. Interesting. If someone says you're better or simply different than you think you are, enjoy that. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Someone says you're better or simply different than you think you are, don't automatically reject it. Think it over carefully. It's true, though. I have a hard time with that, too, because sometimes I feel like people will, give me credit that I don't think I deserve for something that maybe, like, it's either A, they're giving me lip service because they want something from me, or they don't want anything from me. They're just telling me what is a truth to them, and then I feel like embarrassed, like I'm none of those things. I don't know why you think I'm those things, because I wouldn't even be here if XYZ, or whatever. I feel like often I discount and reject things that people say about me because I don't give myself enough credit sometimes. So should give yourself credit today. Yeah. Anyways, that was our tarot thought for the week. Thank you for hanging out with me. I super appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and finish up this square and get the heck out of here. But yeah, I hope to see you next week for the next WIP and Chat, and keep an eye on the channel because I've got lots and lots of content going to be coming out now that Mary Morales is over with, and I think that you will enjoy a lot of it, if not all of it. But all right, that's all I have for you guys. I hope that wherever you are in this great big wide wonderful world of ours, that you're having a glorious morning, evening, or afternoon, whatever time it is, wherever you are. All right, see you next time. Bye.